Hey everybody, Don here. Stories from Don. Thinking about how I felt like I was on Mars because I'd never been out of California, and everybody spoke German. They spoke English, but we didn't speak any German. So it was a really, just trying to adjust to the food and the language. And I remember, my first thing I ever learned was how to order some breakfast, because the lady that gave us breakfast every morning, she didn't speak any English. So she taught me to say, Spiegelei mit Schinken, bitte, which just means eggs and ham, please. So that's all I'd have, eggs and ham. That's all I knew how to say is Spiegelei mit Schinken, bitte, bitteschön. But it was funny, because trying to order food, and I think the second thing I learned how to eat was down the street, which turned out to be one of my favorite foods, which was a bratwurst. And in Germany, they put a mustard on them, has curry in it, curry mustard, and that was really good. And I think we just would say bratwurst mit curry bitte, and pommes frites, mit pommes frites, which means with French fries. So slowly, when you're there for months and months, you learn. I was speaking pretty good enough toward the end. And I remember I guess it wasn't the first time we went over there. It must have been the second time. I'm not sure. It's all kind of fuzzy, honestly. But I just remember how exciting it was to be playing clubs the Beatles played at. And if you're a Beatle fan, like we all were, Jeff, huge Beatle fan, Mick, we were... the Beatles kind of started out in Germany, and playing those clubs was great. It was a huge rush just down the same stage as them. It's kind of like, playing the Whiskey where the Doors played. So anyway, I was just thinking about making these demos and how late at night it was, and I think Michael's drink of the choice, when we all still drank a lot, Michael liked to drink Southern Comfort with a Coke. It's really sweet. And I drank rum and Coke. And I don't think Juan was much of a drinker, or Greg. But I just remember staying up all night, drinking and smoking cigarettes till the control room was like a haze. You couldn't even see. And it was the 70s, And Michael had super long hair, and we all had long hair, and we all smelled like cigarettes all the time, and stay up till 6 in the morning, and go out and have breakfast, and then fall asleep by 9, sleep all day till 8. Go get in a car, bands, and start driving here and there and everywhere. I remember when the wall was still up at Berlin in 79, so it was still half Russian, and we had to go and take our band and go through the Russian part to get back into the west side, which made no sense because the Russians made us take all our equipment out of our van and unload it because they wanted to make sure there was nobody in the van. And I said to the guy, he didn't understand me, I said, dude, nobody's trying to sneak in to East Berlin. They're trying to get out. So I didn't get it. And it was cold. I mean, we're talking it's 20 degrees, starting to snow. We had this van, and we'd literally crawl in the back. And we had about 8 inches we could, lay down and try to get some sleep. Except every time we hit a bump, you'd hit the ceiling of the van. So we did that, and the funniest thing about that run was going to Berlin to do this show was on the way back we needed to get gas, and I grabbed the gas handle, and I assumed said gas, and I started putting it into the van and filled up the tank. It turned out that the van was diesel, and diesels don't run on gas. So we started up and got about, 3 blocks. Smoke's billowing out the back, sputter, bang, boom, boom. Here we are on the east side, and the van breaks down with all our equipment in it. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So we realized I put the wrong fuel in the van. It wasn't funny then at 2 o'clock in the morning, but it's funny now. So I'll just never forget that, putting diesel into it was either a diesel gas or gas into diesel, one of those two. So, of course, we had to walk back a mile in the freezing cold, and Luckily, we had someone with us who spoke English, Nico LaFrance, and, you know, got a tow truck and came and got it, and it turned into a big debacle. But that's rock and roll, man. Every band's got stories like that. So, but I thought it was funny, you know, and it was just interesting. And that's about it. I just wanted to talk about the crazy things we did in Germany, and you know, staying up, not much sleep. But hey, man, when you're 23 years old, 24, you can do that. You can stay up all night. It's a piece of cake. And we did. We actually did the Top 10 Club, where the Beatles played at, and we got off at midnight, and there was a club 3 blocks away that said they'd give us $250 if we come over and play at their club the same night. Well, I said, sure. So we literally did our show, packed up our gear, drug it down 2 blocks to the next club, set it all up, and had to play another hour and a half, and we were just beat. So we made a deal. I said, I tell you what, Juan, you do a bass solo, and I literally would lean against the wall and take a quick power nap during the bass solo, and then he'd take a break, and I'd do a guitar solo, and he'd lean against the wall and take a power nap, you know, and then Greg had to do a drum solo. I'm like, play as long as you can. But that was bizarre, you know, to play 2 clubs in one night, and we didn't have any roadies. I mean, it was just us dragging those amps down the street. And that was, looking back, it was pretty wild. So that's about it. I don't really have that much to talk about today, except, you know, it's reminiscent of when we did these demos. And this turned into this record now, The Lost Songs. But looking back, you know, it was an adventure, and it was fun, and it was exciting, and we never got any sleep. And but it is what it is, and it was what it was. I don't think I could survive a tour like that now, not at my age. So, you know, we all got spoiled down the road, but I think it's called paying your dues. I think every band has done it that I know. Everybody paid their dues. I remember, I mean, I'll never forget seeing the Police play the night after we played at the club called The Sounds. I don't know if I told the story before, but I'll tell you again. And we're like, oh, wow, the Police, let's go check them out. We weren't playing. And I walked in, and we were all excited, you know, to meet the Police and meet Sting and the drummer. And we're like, hey, man, we're from America. How you guys doing? They just looked at us like, who are you guys? And how in the hell did you get back here in our dressing room? So we got the hint right away. And Sting was cool, but the drummer wasn't very friendly. He was just kind of like, get these guys out of here. So, but the cool thing was that they played for about the same amount of people we played, maybe 150 people. I think their single was just breaking in England. I think it was Roxanne. So they were just going to Germany, and they hadn't made it yet. You know, there they were. So that was kind of cool to see them when they were nobody. And then literally a year later, they were like huge. Anyway, it's awesome up here. The weather's perfect. It's going to turn soon, and I'll be sitting out in this chair maybe in a bunch of snow. And that's just the way it is. So take care. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe. That's about all I have to say for now. If you run into Sting, tell him I said hello. Bye-bye.